Let's bring in geopolitical analyst Edward Opa. He's in Texas, the United States. Edward, thanks for joining us on the program today. The purpose of the congressional hearing is for Congress to present, at the end of it, to present the U.S. president with a report to help him make a decision on Nigeria. What do you think would be the suggestion for President Donald Trump following yesterday's hearing?
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is a subcommittee on Africa, and then, they get to go to the full committee, and then, the House will deliberate, and then the House will, based on what that deliberation is, will make a recommendation. Then the Senate may weigh, the Senate may weigh in. So this is just the starting of a process. You could see in that deliberation there were opposing views. Some people agree, some people don't agree. I think it's up to Nigerian leadership because, the killing, as much as it is all about the Christians, Muslims have lost their life. Nigeria has to have a comprehensive plan on public safety. It cannot be a side talk. It cannot be a side agenda because, if Nigerians live in a sieged environment, they are going to be able to give their best to their country of birth and the country they have chosen to live in. So the president has to come in with the support of the National Assembly and deploy resources where resources is needed. The Nigeria police obviously doesn't have the tool or the capacity to deal with this. That's where you have the military, and it is a very bad optics that the military of a country that's supposed to defend the country, in terms of external attack is, fighting Nigerians. I mean, that has been going on, I guess since, Jonathan got in there, and then Buhari came in saying he was going to deal with this, and now we have Tinubu, and Tinubu's 2 years obviously has shown the weaknesses in the public safety or security infrastructure of Nigeria. So Nigerians have to be honest with themselves and deal with this. It's no longer, whether you're a Muslim or Christian, lives are being lost. I was in Abuja recently and I saw cattlemen with AK-47. Why would you allow cattlemen to have AK? Who authorized them? Nobody's talking about that. So if a goat farmer is a goat farmer allowed to carry gun, why is it just specifically for the cattlemen? So Nigerians have to address that because, the evidence is there. And these are the ones that when they get into your village or your farms, if you try to stop them, they're going to shoot you. They're going to kill you. So Nigeria have to start publishing data on who gets killed, where they got killed, and begin to make this thing as a factual evidence, as not just, it's not there, it's not happening. Nigeria is now, in a spotlight, and that light is not good for it.
Yeah, and when you say Nigeria, I suppose you're talking about Nigerian leaders, because Nigerians themselves have been trying to put pressure on the government to do some of these things that you're talking about. But apart from highlighting the deficiencies in government efforts to curb these attacks, because the government does say it's doing something, the U.S. State Department says the U.S. will be partnering with Nigeria with the Nigerian government, I must specify, to develop a joint task force aimed at addressing allegation of Christian persecution in Nigeria. Nigerians don't have much confidence in their government. There is a trust deficit right now, considering what has been going on and the fact that there have been attacks in the past 3 days. Do you think, however, that collaboration will still happen in light of some of the revelations in Congress and some of the attacks that have happened this week?
I think it will happen. This is a process. This is a conversation. Hopefully it's going to lead to a better outcome. I think in order to desensitize this, what is going on, the emphasis should be more like Nigerians are getting killed. It's not just the Christians, the Muslims as well are getting killed. And because if we just make it more about the Christians, then the Muslims, we're going to feel so. So let Nigerians admit, okay, killing of one Nigerian because of their ethnicity or because of their religious belief is more than enough. It doesn't have to be a genocide. Hundreds or thousands or millions don't have to die, be killed before the government steps up. So I think the message should be Nigerians are getting killed in their country. because of their religious belief. And that could be they are Muslim, they are Christians, there are people who don't believe in either of those two religions. So when you do that, then you call on all these people. I mean, you have a lot of traditional rulers. You keep asking the question, what are they relevant? You could do what most countries have done. You give any traditional ruler, if this number of people get killed in your area of authority, whatever that authority is, we're going to remove you from office. So that they too may have some responsibility, and they too may have, be put to some test to see whether they are relevant. If not, to remove them. You have the Sultan of Sokoto. What statement has he made? The Emir of Kano, the Obi of Onitsha, the Amanabo of whomever, the people in the West. Nigeria don't need to be distracted by institutions that are not adding to the welfare of Nigeria. But since you can't remove them, then give them some task. If people get killed in your area, if there's any government money that's supposedly come to you, we're going to deduct it from them, so that they too can engage their own community and people and say, hey, enough of this. We cannot live this way, because they too are in danger. I mean, you got a soldier a general that got killed. Some emirs or local chiefs have been kidnapped and killed. So now the government of Tinubu, because Tinubu is the guy, has to step up and make a profound statement. Enough of this. If he doesn't do this, chances of him getting re-elected is going to be very slim. Then in terms of the collaboration, what collaboration do you want America to do? Do you want America to bring in armed forces, soldiers into it, or do you want America to bring police resources? Nigeria has to decide that. In a civilian government, the role of the military is supposed to be in the backyard. What you see now in Nigeria is a lot of soldiers on the streets carrying guns. Then they shouldn't be. Enhance the Nigerian police, find a way to make them more relevant and effective, and then create regional forces, and in each of these regional forces, give them the tools. If the soldiers want to fight in Nigeria, let them change their uniform from being soldiers and become police people. Because in a civilian government, police is what you need. It's not the army. You don't need the Nigerian army using helicopter to attack Nigerians. It's not good. It shows that Nigerians haven't figured out the difference between when they were in a military role and when they were in a civilian government. And this is more than a quarter of a century of experimenting with the civilian thing. It hasn't given Nigerians the confidence. And like you said, Nigerians don't trust their leaders. You look at every senator, governor, when they go, how many police officers follow them. So what Tinubu has to say is limited. A senator, one policeman. House member, one policeman. No more entourage, so that they too can begin to have the sense that their own life may be in jeopardy. Then they can go into those chambers and be serious about what it is they do for Nigeria. It's not about them. It's a joke when you see a senator has like 20, 30 police people following them around.
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying. I think that someone also, one of the respondents at the Congressional hearing yesterday did allude to this, the decentralization of the police, the fact that we should have more police response to some of this violence. And someone also rightly pointed out that we really haven't heard the Inspector General of Police addressing any of these issues. Security chiefs, of course, need to come forward with their response as to what is going on and what they're doing. Edward Oppa, thank you so much for speaking with us on The World Today.
Can I inject something before you go? When Tafa Balogun was the police IG, I wrote him about how to enhance the Nigerian police, because I had just graduated from the Dallas Police Citizens Academy. And then in 2003, when I did the FBI Citizens Academy, I also wrote, and then what is his name? Onovo was there. I even specifically asked Onovo to make Enugu Police College the Center for Terrorism Training. But Onovo was so ignorant and so afraid, and he didn't even take up on that recommendation. These are things that I have done, and I have record of having done this. Nigeria, you see, of all of that testimony, there was not even a Nigerian American invited. Nigerians don't pay attention to some of their sons and daughters that are in this country, that have resources, that have access and relationship that can help them manage the bad public relations that's going on in Nigeria. It is not good. Other people don't do it. Respect your own prophets before you seek prophets from other places. It will be good for the image of Nigeria. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Edward. Appreciate your analysis and your thoughts on the issue.